Welcome back to AI for the Humanities. I'm Megan McInnes Dominguez, Associate Professor of Spanish at the University of Delaware, and this channel is your go-to resource for exploring the intersection of generative AI and humanities education. Whether you're new to AI or have been experimenting with these technologies, you'll find valuable insights and practical tips here. Today, I'm absolutely thrilled to introduce a very special guest to our channel. When I attended the American Association of Teachers of Spanish and Portuguese conference this past summer, I witnessed something remarkable. A former student of ours at UD, Lauren Lamonsoff, delivered a presentation that had colleagues leaning forward in their seats, frantically taking notes, and lining up afterward to ask questions. Lauren earned both her BA and MA in Spanish education right here at UD, and watching her present on AI integration in the world language classroom, I knew immediately that her insights needed to reach a wider audience. What makes Lauren's approach so valuable is that while her expertise is in world language pedagogy, the principles and strategies she shares transcend disciplinary boundaries. Whether you teach literature, history, philosophy, or any humanities discipline, you'll find practical applications in her methods for leveraging AI to create differentiated materials, provide meaningful feedback, and scaffold learning while maintaining academic rigor and your own pedagogical authority. Lauren is now a Spanish teacher in New York City, working with 5th and 7th graders, and she's currently pursuing her EDD in Learning and Teaching and Applied Linguistics from Hofstra University. Her presentation today, AI Friend or Foe, How to Leverage Artificial Intelligence in the World Language Classroom, demonstrates exactly the kind of thoughtful, ethical, and practical AI integration that humanities education needs. You'll notice that Lauren introduces what she calls the ALIVE protocol, a systematic approach to prompting AI that ensures you maintain control over the pedagogical direction while leveraging AI's capabilities for differentiation and resource creation. This protocol alone is worth the watch, but Lauren goes much further, demonstrating how to create leveled materials, design assessments, and provide feedback that remains authentically yours while using AI as a powerful supporting tool. What I particularly appreciate about Lauren's approach is her unwavering commitment to student privacy and ethical AI use. She emphasizes repeatedly that we must never compromise our students' confidential information, and she models exactly how to use these tools responsibly while still getting their benefits. This video represents exactly what we're trying to accomplish here on AI for the Humanities, demonstrating how educators can thoughtfully integrate AI tools in ways that enhance rather than replace our humanistic expertise, that expand rather than limit our pedagogical possibilities, and that prepare students for a future where critical thinking about technology is as essential as critical thinking with technology. So, without further delay, I'm delighted to turn things over to Lauren. Take it away.
Hi, everybody. My name is Lauren Lamonsoff, and I'm going to be your guide for AI Friend or Foe, How to Leverage Artificial Intelligence in the World Language Classroom, here on the AI for the Humanities channel. Thank you to Professor McInnes Dominguez for allowing me to present my work on this wonderful channel. I am so looking forward to it. Let's get started. So a little bit about me. My name is Lauren Lamonsoff, and I am a Spanish teacher in New York City. I have experience working on Long Island as well as in the Delaware DOE and at the University of Delaware teaching undergrads. I got my BA and my MA in Spanish education from University of Delaware, and I'm currently working on my EDD in Learning and Teaching and Applied Linguistics from Hofstra University. So right now we're going to take a look at a video from the movie Bicentennial Man. This is the movie trailer with Robin Williams.
By the year 2005,
Are you one's family?
I guess so.
every home will have an NDR 114.
Andrew, this is very good.
Thank you, sir.
I think it sucks.
Sucks. Chickens do not have lips.
He was designed to serve humans.
Would you please open the window?
One is glad to be of use.
Now jump. No! Out the window.
So we may not have a Andrew character in our homes, but we certainly have something like it. We've got Gemini, we've got Alexa, we've got ChatGPT, we've got Google Home. So we've got all of these different pieces of technology 20 years past 2005. So we may not have a Robin Williams character in our homes cooking us dinner and jumping out the window, but we certainly have some artificial intelligence in our lives every single day. So we talk about artificial intelligence all the time, especially in the educational community, but do we know what it actually means? So why don't we take a look and see what the Oxford English Dictionary has to say about what artificial intelligence actually is. So take a moment, pause the video and read this definition and think about how you would explain this definition to your students. And think about some things while you're reading. Think about whether you keep your attention on this definition, if it's a longer definition than you would have liked. Think about if it's as detailed or less detailed than you would have liked. And think about how your students would respond to a definition like this. If they said, Miss or Mr., Señor, Señorita, Profe, what would your students say to you if you explained AI like this? So I think that definition was very long and drawn out. I don't know if you agree with me, hopefully you do, but let's see what ChatGPT has to say about that definition. So that definition was from the Oxford English Dictionary. So what I did was I put that definition into ChatGPT and said, simplify this definition. So let's see what it gave us. Here we go. AI, artificial intelligence, is the ability of computers or robots to perform tasks that normally require human intelligence. AI systems aim to copy human thinking skills like reasoning, understanding meaning, learning from experience, and recognizing patterns. And then you get a little bit of the background in a paragraph below. So take a minute and think to yourself, or if you're with a partner or if you are in a group, discuss for a moment, what do you think this definition does well as compared to the other definition? And what are some of its strong points and weak points? Pause the video and come back. Awesome. So we're going to segue and talk about what other things AI can do for you in the world language classroom, because simplifying definitions is certainly not the only thing we can do. So for example, we can level up and level down materials. We can create ad hoc resources. We can design tests and quizzes and give feedback. So we're going to focus on those 4 things today. And today we are going to focus on ChatGPT or Gemini. I use ChatGPT because my school has an educational version of ChatGPT. And so one thing I just want to mention really fast is using AI ethically. Please, please, please do not ever put the name of a student into AI or any personal details about the student or your school into the AI, because the AI learns, and we have to make sure that we're just being as ambiguous as possible with this personal data of your students. So as I said before, I'm a 7th and 5th grade Spanish teacher in New York City, and my 5th graders love superheroes, and so do my 7th graders. They're obsessed with Frozone this year. And so what we're going to do is use ChatGPT to create a story about Spider-Man saving Manhattan for my students. So we're going to use the prompts on the next slide. The most important thing about using AI to get what you want out of it is the prompting. So we're going to look at a way to remember how to prompt the AI to get what you want out of it. So here's how to prompt the AI using the protocol that I have called Alive. A is for audience. Who are your students? L is for level. So are they novice high on the ACTFL scale? Are they intermediate low? Where do they fall? Your intent. What will students be able to do? Think about your success criteria. Your students will be able to blank. Your student learning outcomes, whatever your school or district or wherever you are might call them. What is it that your students will be able to do? Your verbs and vocab is the V. So where is this going to fall in the context of your unit? So is it a unit about healthcare? Is it a unit about food? Is it a unit about city living? And finally, E is the essentials. What do you want the story to be about? Is it going to be fun, funny, serious, etc.? So let's see what I did to prompt the AI on the next slide. So here is the prompt that I put into the AI. I am a Spanish teacher in an all-boys school in Manhattan. Create a story for my 7th grade students about Spider-Man saving the city from danger. After this story, students will be able to recognize the Super 7 and Sweet 16 verbs and summarize the story in their own words. This story will fall in with a unit about high-frequency verbs and city living. The story should be about entertaining but simple enough for 7th grader students to understand. Okay, so what you're going to do is you are going to try using the ALIVE protocol, ALIVE, audience level, intent, verbs and vocab, and essentials. Come up with something yourself. Put it into ChatGPT as you go now. So take a minute, pause the video, and come back once you've got a result. Okay, so here is what ChatGPT came up with for my students in 7th grade in a New York City private school. Okay, it says, Historia, Spider-Man salva la ciudad. So the most important thing, asterisk here, is to check for errors in the AI, because yes, the errors are going to be there. The AI can make mistakes. It will make mistakes. So make sure that you're going through it as best as you can. But so this story, for those of you who don't speak Spanish, this story is about Peter Parker saving the city from a giant robot in Times Square. Okay, so this is a super comprehensible story using verbs like correr, to run, controlar, cognates, to control, puede or poder is to be able to, ver is to see, querer, to want. So very basic verbs. So these are really great resources, these ChatGPT stories, for you to be able to make entertaining input for your students. And now what you can do is take your story and use the ALIVE protocol again. And what you're going to do is you're going to say how to level up or level down your story. So let's say it's too hard for some of your students, but too easy for some of your students. So what you can do is you can have the AI differentiate for you. So you can say, make a version of this for a heritage speaker from Mexico. And the ChatGPT will come out with a version that's harder, but not quite native level. And then you can say, level it down or add extra support for a student who is having trouble with basic verb conjugations. For example, you can have the AI bold all of the verbs. You can have the AI put definitions next to the verbs as well. You can have it put a little word bank with superscripts, and you can have the definitions of the verbs under the page and footnotes. So you can level it and scaffold it for your students in a way that makes sense. So why don't you try that now? Pause the video, take a moment, and scaffold the story. Think of two learners. Think of a high-level learner that you have and a lower-level learner that you have, and think about them and scaffold or differentiate this story for them and see what you get. Okay, so now we're going to try and create a test or a quiz with ChatGPT. Super easy, super fun to do. So we're going to create a sample test for our students. So what I'm going to do is walk you through the ALIVE protocol for a test that I created. So my A audience was 10th grade students in a public school in New York State. Level is novice high to intermediate low or intermediate mid at the highest. The intent is students will be able to communicate about suggestions about the environment using environmental and subjunctive verbs and vocab. That's your V's. And your E is it should have 26 questions, 10 fill in the blank, some short answer questions or open response questions, and an essay. So let's see what the ChatGPT gave us. So here is a screenshot of the output that ChatGPT gave me for this test. So Honor Spanish Subjunctive and Environment test, it gave me 10 fill in the blank questions using verbs, sentences that are contextualized with the environment. And the students are responsible for conjugating the verbs in parentheses in the subjunctive. Now, very important to please check again and make sure that there are no errors. You cannot just copy and paste and give a test directly to your students without reading it through. There will be mistakes. The AI has great powers, but also you have great responsibility. Back to Spider-Man. So here is a sampling of some of the vocab questions. So they got a word bank. Las fábricas producen mucho blank que contamina el aire. So the factories produce a lot of blank that contaminates the air. So this would be pollution, right? Or gas, whatever sort of vocabulary word that you're looking for your students to use, they will have to put it in here. So this is a great way to come up with questions that your vocabulary is going to be applied to. I also asked the AI to give me 5 open-ended questions, and so we've got 5 open-ended questions that should be no more than a sentence or 2. So, for example, number 21, though, is not exactly an environmental question. So it says, what do your professors or teachers recommend for you to be successful in school? So that's a question that I would have to go in there and I would have to rewrite myself to make sure that it actually follows my theme of the environment. So number 24, though, however, is what do you suggest to a person who doesn't recycle? So that's a really great question. Number 25 is what do you do to protect nature? And it says the subjunctive is not necessary here. So again, there's an error. Number 23 says, what do you doubt about the future of the planet? So for the most part, the AI got it right, but we definitely have to go in there and edit it ourselves. Another thing that the AI can help us do is give essay feedback to our students. So if we go back to our test, the essay feedback, the essay that we had the students write looks like this. Escribe un párrafo sobre cómo podemos proteger el medio ambiente. So write a 5 to 7 sentence paragraph about how we can protect the environment. So it says include at least 3 verbs in the present subjunctive. So I have a sample student writing right here, and what I did was I put that student's writing without her name into ChatGPT and asked for some feedback. So if you want to take a minute, pause right here and take a look at what the student wrote and think about what feedback you would give to this student. So for teachers like me who are not red pen teachers, I like to grade things holistically, use a lot of rubrics, give very well-rounded feedback. So this is what the AI came up with after I copy-pasted this student's essay into ChatGPT without her name. We really must protect students' privacy, so never put the name of the student, first name or last name, their age, their birthday, any identifying information about your student must be outside of ChatGPT, not used at all. It's wise to keep your school's name out of it as well, just in case. Be as ambiguous as possible with the AI because the AI can learn. So we want to just make sure that the AI is not making assumptions about your students or potentially endangering them with putting their information out there where it should not be. So this student's sample had some subjunctive errors. So AI says to keep practicing the subjunctive, and it's really positive. What's great about the AI's feedback is that it's a positive and encouraging presence. So it says, this shows that you understand how to use this mood. Just make sure to double check your verb forms. The second thing that it said is to clean up small grammar mistakes. So it caught the small grammar mistakes that the student makes. And so it also says to the student not to worry and that these things get easier with practice and to keep reviewing her articles and prepositions. So, for example, por qué de should be por or por qué. La planeta should be el planeta. And los aguas should be el agua. And it tells you why it said el for sound reasons. So it's really great feedback so far. Another thing that the AI said to do for this student was to organize her ideas more clearly, and it gave her an idea of how to do so, which is great. So it said to break her paragraph down into what is the problem, why is it important, and what are the solutions. And finally, it told the student to level up her vocabulary because it seemed to me and to the AI that the student was using some vocabulary that was not as advanced as she could have. So the AI prompted her to use more appropriate vocabulary for 10th grade. So the last thing we're going to talk about is citing artificial intelligence Just like we don't want our students to use artificial intelligence without our knowledge, we have a responsibility to let them know when we are using AI. So we are never supposed to give feedback that was AI driven without specifically stating that it was AI driven. We have to be forthright about our AI use and make sure to cite it. So here's an example from the Purdue Online Writing Lab on how to cite AI. So if you do cite AI, make sure that you do it correctly. This is the MLA format. There's also the APA and, of course, other formats, whatever your institution might want you to do. So here are my works cited. I hope you enjoyed this presentation of AI Friend or Foe, how to leverage artificial intelligence in the world language classroom. Once again, my name is Lauren Lamonsoff, and I'm here for any questions that you might need. My email is laurenlamonsoff@gmail.com, first name, last name @gmail.com. And a special thank you and a shout out to Dr. Megan McInnes-Dominguez for allowing me to present this work on her wonderful AI for the Humanities channel. And I hope to see you back real soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Lauren, for that incredibly practical and thoughtful presentation. I hope everyone watching took as many notes as I did. What strikes me most about Lauren's approach is how it beautifully demonstrates several principles we emphasize constantly on this channel. First, she shows us that effective AI integration isn't about replacing teacher expertise. It's about amplifying it. Lauren never suggests letting AI make pedagogical decisions. Instead, she demonstrates how we can use AI to execute our vision more efficiently, creating differentiated materials that would otherwise take hours or even be impossible given our time constraints. Second, Lauren's Alive protocol gives us something we desperately need in humanities education, a systematic framework for prompting AI that keeps our learning objectives front and center. By focusing on audience, level, intent, verbs, and vocabulary, and essentials, we maintain complete control over the educational experience while leveraging AI's generative capabilities. This protocol isn't just for language teachers. It's adaptable to any humanities discipline. History teachers could modify it to create primary source analysis at different reading levels. Literature professors could use it to generate discussion prompts that meet students where they are. Philosophy instructors could create ethics case studies that scale in complexity. Third, and perhaps most importantly, Lauren consistently models ethical AI use. Her repeated warnings about student privacy aren't mere formalities. They represent the kind of vigilance we must maintain as we integrate these powerful tools into our teaching practice. We are the guardians of our students' information, and no convenience is worth compromising that trust. I also want to highlight something Lauren demonstrated brilliantly, the importance of human oversight. Noticed how she emphasized checking AI-generated content for errors, editing test questions that don't align with learning objectives, and ensuring that feedback maintains an encouraging, constructive tone. AI is a tool, and like any tool, it requires skilled human hands to use it effectively. Lauren shows us exactly what that skilled use looks like. For those of you watching who don't teach world languages, I encourage you to think about Lauren's strategies and how they would translate to your discipline. Can you use the Alive protocol and create reading passages about historical events at different complexity levels? Can you generate practice problems for philosophy logic courses that scaffold difficulty? Can you create essay prompts that meet students at their current analytical level while challenging them to grow? The answer to all of these is yes, and Lauren is giving you the framework to do it. Our final thought. Lauren's presentation reminds us that the goal of AI integration in humanities education isn't to make our jobs easier, though it certainly can do that. The goal is to make our teaching more responsive to human needs, student needs, more inclusive of diverse learning profiles, and more effective at achieving our learning objectives. AI allows us to do things we've always wanted to do but couldn't because of time constraints. Truly differentiated instruction, detailed feedback on student work, and creative resources that engage students where they are. As we continue navigating the AI revolution in education, we need more voices like Lauren's, voices that combine deep pedagogical knowledge with practical experience, thus balancing innovation with ethical responsibility, and demonstrating how technology can serve humanistic education rather than supplant it. I'm so grateful that Lauren was willing to share her expertise with our community, and I encourage all of you to reach out to her with questions or share how you've adapted her strategies into your own teaching in the comments. So if you found this video to be valuable, please like, subscribe, and share it with colleagues who might find it valuable. And don't forget to explore the other resources available here on AI for the Humanities, where we're building a community of educators committed to thoughtful use cases of AI. And if you have anything you would like to contribute, if you would like to create a video of how you're using AI or how AI is not working for you, please contact us, let us know. We would love to have you. Have a nice one, everybody.
Started with a question on my screen. What is A? Oxford's definition seemed obscene. Too many words for 7th grade minds. So I asked ChatGPT to help me find a simpler way to make it clear that artificial intelligence is here. But here's the thing we need to know. Before we let this power grow. Alive, that's how we prompt with care. Audience and level, intent everywhere. Verbs and vocabulary, essentials in the air. Alive, it's the protocol we share. Never sacrifice the privacy we swear. To protect our students everywhere. Peter Parker swinging through Times Square in Spanish for my students sitting there. High frequency verbs and city living themes, differentiated by AI dreams. Heritage speakers get complexity, while struggling learners get simplicity. From story time to assessment day, we check for errors along the way. Alive, that's how we prompt with care. Audience and level, intent everywhere. Verbs and vocabulary, essentials in the air. Alive, it's the protocol we share. Never sacrifice the privacy we swear. To protect our students everywhere. Red pen teachers, holistic graders unite. Feedback that's encouraging, constructive and bright. 26 questions on environment and mood. The subjunctive's tricky, but A's getting good. But check it, always check it. Copy paste is dangerous without inspection. Protect them